Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about the Xbox Scarlett. So this is the next generation Xbox console, and we have rumors today that Microsoft will be releasing two Xbox consoles next year in 2020. So before we get into today's video, I want to remind you guys, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're not already. That way you guys stay up to date with all the latest and greatest information and videos about the Xbox Scarlett and next generation consoles and hardware. But let's get into today's news. So, recent leaks and rumors have come out suggesting that Xbox and Microsoft will be releasing two separate Xbox consoles next year in 2020. So they say that there's going to be two SKUs of Xbox consoles. One of them is going to be codenamed Lockhart, and the other one is going to be codenamed Anaconda. The Anaconda one is actually the Project Scarlett. That's the new beefed up one. That's going to be apparently the most powerful console ever. That's Microsoft's big push. That's going to be the super powerful console, the kind of successor to the Xbox One X. Microsoft showed a video of this console at E3 2019, but recent rumors have come out suggesting that Microsoft is also developing another Xbox console codenamed Lockhart. So they say that the Xbox Anaconda is codenamed to be like the Xbox One X2. So this is a successor to the Xbox One X, but the Lockhart is codenamed the Xbox One S2. So the Lockhart is a successor to the One S, and the Anaconda is a successor to the One X. So if you just think about like the hardware discrepancies between those two systems, the One S and the One X, that's apparently the kind of gap that we're going to be getting with these new two systems as well. So the current One S plays a lot of games at like 1080p, whereas the One X plays a lot of games at 4K. Now the obvious real world difference between these two systems is the price. The Xbox One S is a lot cheaper than the Xbox One X, and that's just because it has different hardware in it. The Xbox One X has more expensive hardware, it's more powerful, so it's going to cost you more. So it appears this is what Microsoft is going to be doing next year in 2020 with the new Project Scarlett, is they're going to be releasing two systems. One of them is going to be their new beefed up successor to the Xbox One X. This is the console they're going to be trying to market as like the most powerful console ever. This is going to be the one that they're going to be trying to beat Sony at. Like the Project Scarlett's going to be more powerful than the PS5. You know, that's what Microsoft is hoping for here. But most likely what that's going to mean is it's probably going to be a $500 console. Now, not everybody's going to want to buy a $500 console, so that's where the appeal of something like the Xbox Lockhart would come in, is that this is, you know, a little bit like less powerful hardware, so it's going to be cheaper, so you can still get a next generation system, but you don't have to pay $500 or whatever to get into it. You could probably get into it for maybe $300 or less. Now, this could also be a move in reaction to the recent rumors about Sony. There's been rumors saying that Sony will also be releasing two systems next year. That they're going to be releasing a PlayStation 5 and a PlayStation 5 Pro. Both of them coming out at the exact same time next year. So one of them is just going to be, you know, a step up from the current PS4. It's going to be more powerful and it's going to be a better console. But then we're going to have a PlayStation 5 Pro, which is going to take the current PS4 Pro and step it up to 11. It's going to be even more powerful. And I mean, if this is true that both companies are going to be making two consoles, I mean, it definitely makes sense for the consumer. The consumer now has two options for each like system family. So if you're an Xbox fan, now you have two options. You can go, hey, I can go out and I can buy an Xbox Lockhart for $300, for example. There's no information right now about pricing. That information is probably going to be locked in for like 6 months before we find out any information about that. But I mean, guesses would probably be Lockhart would probably be $300 or less. So you could either get like a Lockhart probably for about $300, or you could get an Anaconda for $500. So you could go, hey, either way, I'm still getting a next generation Xbox. That's great. So if I want the more powerful one, I can spend $500 for that. But if I don't quite want to spend that much money, I can spend a little bit less and get a pretty good console. It's still better than the current Xbox One, but it's not quite as good as the full fat Anaconda, the super beefed up one. And overall, that'd be great for the consumer. I mean, Microsoft is already somewhat doing this with their current lineup with the Xbox One. So they have the Xbox One X, which is their, you know, top of the line, highest tier Xbox console, the most powerful one and the most powerful console out there. But then they also have like budget options. They have the Xbox One S, which is kind of marketed as that budget option where if you don't have like a 4K TV, or if you don't care about having the most powerful hardware, you can get that. But then they even also have the Xbox One S all digital, which is even cheaper. So like you can get Xbox One S's, the all digital edition, for $150 right now. Like that's an incredible deal. So I think that Microsoft should try and continue that by having a super budget friendly console, something you can get really cheap to still get into this ecosystem, but then also still have a super powerful console you can get into as well. So there is even rumors, like going back as clear back as like 2016, that Microsoft was going to be releasing multiple Xbox consoles, like to coincide with the Xbox One X. There's going to be the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X, and then like a small Apple TV like device that you just stream games to. Now that would be just like Microsoft's xCloud, where you are actually streaming games from Microsoft's data centers to whatever device. You can stream it to a phone, you can stream it to, I believe, a PC, or even your Xbox console. So if xCloud actually turns out to be a success and they work out the way, like, theoretically it could be planned, is that you might even be able to get an Xbox Lockhart, but be able to stream full quality Xbox Anaconda games to your Lockhart. So in theory, you might be able to still play the exact same games, the same graphical quality and stuff on a Lockhart without buying an Anaconda console, without spending extra money. As for performance for these two systems, there's been leaks that say that the Anaconda is actually going to be targeting 12 teraflops and that the Lockhart is going to be targeting 4 teraflops. So the Xbox Anaconda, it's 12 teraflops, that's twice as powerful as the Xbox One X, and then the Lockhart is 4 teraflops, but the current One S is 1.4, so it's over double the performance of the Xbox One S. So you might have noticed that the Lockhart, it's only 4 teraflops, but the Xbox One X is 6. So they're going to be releasing a new next-gen system that's going to be weaker than the current Xbox One X. Now, I feel like that's an interesting move, that what Microsoft could be doing here is instead of releasing an Xbox Lockhart, instead of releasing another SKU, instead they could just discount the existing Xbox One X. They instead have the Xbox One X slide down in price, bring that down to like $300, $250, and have that be the cheaper entry model into the Xbox family. So you have the Xbox One X for $200, and then you have the Xbox Anaconda, the Project Scarlet, for $500. Now, to me, that makes a lot more sense. But all these rumors still suggest that Microsoft will be releasing 2 SKUs, 2 Xbox consoles. And Phil Spencer actually had something to say about this. So there was an interview with Business Insider where this article here that I'm actually basing this whole video off of, you guys can check this out in the description. But they say that Phil Spencer seems to put down rumors of a multiple SKU release for Project Scarlet. But it's up to interpretation. So this is the quote that he said. Phil Spencer says, "Last year we said consoles, and we shipped a console, and we've now detailed another console. I think that's plural. Technically, that is plural. Right now we're focused on Project Scarlet and what we put on stage." So if you guys don't know what he's referring to, basically Phil Spencer said that Xbox and that Microsoft is working on multiple consoles, that they're going to be bringing out new Xbox consoles. So they said plural, so that was a big thing that tipped a lot of different people off. They were like, oh, so Microsoft is admitting that they're going to be making multiple Xboxes. So Phil Spencer doesn't, flat out give a no. Yeah, we're only going to be releasing one console next year. But basically what he's saying is that, yeah, right now we're focused on Scarlet, and yeah, we've already shipped a console, and we're now going to be detailing another one. So that's plural, but I still think he's like trying to give himself kind of a cop-out in case Microsoft still wants to go with a Lockhart and have a cheaper console as well. But I am personally kind of glad that we are seeing Microsoft focus on this big, bad, super powerful console, trying to make this console to be the most powerful console ever, rather than really focusing on the low end. I feel like they can really do that at any time, but as soon as they get the Project Scarlet nailed down, then they can focus on the Lockhart as much as they want. Then they can start making this little bit weaker console and working out all the different details about that, whether it will feature xCloud and work with stuff like that or whatnot. And Windows Central also says in this article that Project Scarlet was originally billed to us as a, quote, family of devices. So there's been a bunch of different sources still that confirm this. So specifically The Verge and Kotaku have still said that the Lockhart is still a thing and that Microsoft will definitely be releasing 2 Xbox consoles, that internally they're working on 2 different SKUs. So what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about Microsoft releasing 2 Xbox consoles next year? And that's kind of crazy. Like, this isn't something you guys have to buy 2 consoles. This is like, hey, this is better for you because now this is an option. So I guess kind of an example would be similar to Apple. So this year in 2019, Apple released the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro. So the iPhone 11 is kind of the budget end model. It's a lot cheaper. I believe it starts at like $600. But if you want like the latest and greatest, you want the most powerful phone ever, or whatever, you want the better model, you can get the iPhone 11 Pro, which starts at like $1,000. So you can still get an iPhone 11, you know, you can still get a new device. But if you pay more, you can get better hardware and something more powerful. And that's just the case it was with Apple doing that. And I see no reason why Microsoft shouldn't do that with new consoles, especially with all these rumors that Sony is going to be releasing 2 consoles as well. If Sony releases them, Microsoft is going to have to just absolutely do something to counter that, whether that's dropping the price of the Xbox One X or creating a new console like the Lockhart as well. I mean, even if they discounted the Xbox One X, it still won't have that hardware accelerated ray tracing, this new Zen 2 cores, and the new hardware. So maybe there is a spot for the Xbox Lockhart console after all. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. That is it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this in the comments down below. What do you guys think about Microsoft releasing 2 Xboxes next year? And also about the rumors that Sony will be releasing 2 PlayStations next year. That is kind of crazy. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that in the comments down below. I read all the comments, so make sure you guys comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I'll see you guys next time.